Hello and welcome to episode 396 of the official EstablishTheRun.com podcast. My name is Adam Levitan. I am back for my 40th birthday trip. Shout out to me. I am back for another edition of Market Monday. Of course, this show is designed to get you up to speed very quickly on recent average draft position, aka ADP movement across the fantasy football markets. In the show notes, you can find a free link to the charts and full article on this topic from ETR Director of Analytics and the man behind all this, Michael Leone. By the way, reminder that anyone who purchases or has purchased our Draft Kit Pro, which is $49.99, just outrageously cheap, gets a $10 credit in your underdog account. That's even if you already have an underdog account. That page on how to claim is live now. It is in the menu. If you don't have an underdog account yet, just sign up for one using promo code ETR. You'll get up to the $100 deposit bonus. And then you can come back and claim your extra $10 if you have the Draft Kit Pro. All right, let's begin with the risers from the last 7 days. Rashaad Penny is up 6.3 spots on underdog to 97.3. Kenneth Walker is down 8.6 to 107.6. And I think that it's important to understand where these ADP movements come from. This one is very clear. Last week, Bob Condata, a beat writer for the Seattle Times, did a mailbag article. And someone in the mailbag article asked him about the Rashaad Penny versus Kenneth Walker split. And Condata was firm. He said, as long as Penny stays healthy, as long as Rashaad Penny stays healthy, he's going to be the starter and the primary back. And then, Condata goes on to project Rashaad Penny for 20 carries per game, et cetera. And to me, that is not reporting. That to me is he's doing kind of what we're doing, but frankly, I think on a more speculative level. Obviously projecting Rashaad Penny for 20 carries per game is silly. Last year, as a team, the Seahawks averaged 20.3 running back carries per game. That combined Penny, Alex Collins, Chris Carson, Travis Homer, DJ Dallas, Adrian Peterson. It just shows that beat writers are great. And Bob Condata is great for reporting on news, not, in my opinion, speculating on usage and projections. The Seahawks used a round 2 pick on Kenneth Walker, which, was so absurd, but it shows they have every intention of using him a lot. So the market reacts to these silly headlines. Penny to be unquestioned starter, get 20 carries per game. I don't believe either of that. I don't believe that Rashaad Penny is the unquestioned starter. I don't believe he'll hold the job all year, or at least it's a 60-40 guess. It's not 100%. And meanwhile, because of these headlines, Penny to be unquestioned starter, Penny to get 20 carries per game, Kenny Walker's ADP sinks by almost a full round in 7 days. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous, massive. And that's a huge edge for us, I think, because we can see through this noise. Our opinion of how the Kenneth Walker versus Rashaad Penny split has not changed, and we certainly prefer Kenneth Walker at cost. Second riser is Marquez Valdes-Scantling. He's making a move. He's up 4.3 spots on underdog. My strongest take among the Kansas City wideouts is that I am in on Juju. If you listen to the hot take episode, I explained it more. His ADP has just been battered down so bad by his injuries and Ben Roethlisberger's demise. But the dude has a 97 catch season on his resume. Patrick Mahomes has a very high target rate at the slot, and Juju is still very young. But beyond that, on KC wide receivers, I'm honestly a bit wishy-washy. I do know, though, that I want to take shots on all of them plenty, and that means MVS, Sky Moore, Hardman. The payoff is so massive if one of them emerges with Tyreek Hill gone and Travis Kelce entering his age 33 season. If we follow the money, the one to bet on, of course, is MVS, who got a 3-year contract, $30 million, $15 million guaranteed from the Chiefs. And that's a lot. And also, the camp reports on MVS were great. He's going to get a significant amount of high ADOT, high average depth of targets. So as part of my home stacks on underdog, I'm willing to reach on MVS. Last riser to note is the Cleveland Browns stuff. And honestly, I'm pretty tired of talking about Browns ADPs and the Deshaun Watson stuff. There's just so much nuance and gray area around it, the legal situation. But now that almost all the cases have been settled, there's been a wide range of reports / speculation on what Deshaun Watson's suspension will be. It could be 4 games. It could be 10 games. It could be the full year. I don't know. But I think what's important is that we should be pricing in this range of outcomes into our rankings. And the market is doing that a bit more now. Deshaun Watson's ADP has shot up 20 spots in the last 7 days. It's now 182. David Njoku up 7 spots in the last 7 days as well. My take on drafting Deshaun Watson is that the quarterback position just isn't valuable enough for me to take on a ton of risk. Like, even if Watson plays the final 6 games, yeah, that's great, but he isn't even a lock in those 6 games to separate from the other quarterbacks. It's not like you're getting a workhorse running back in round 16, but the value of having a Deshaun Watson on your roster in round 16 is in these underdog style formats where in week 17, you get to have unique stacks so you can get to the top. I mean, that's what you need. And if you can reach week 17 and he plays well, you're cooking. But, that's a big parlay. And I'm personally being careful about reaching here, but I get the Deshaun Watson pick in certain situations. Let's get to this week's fallers. Faller number 1, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's down almost 6 spots in the last week to 88.5. And man, I want to be high on CEH, but the more I think about it and more I read about it, the scarier it is. You could make a good case that Ronald Jones is a better pure runner than CEH. And you can make a case that the newly re-signed Jerick McKinnon is better in the passing game, better in passing situations than CEH. So it's scary on Edwards-Helaire, but that's starting to get priced into his ADP as it sinks towards 90. I'm really, really tempted there on CEH at that price. Second faller situation is at tight end, and this one is interesting. TJ Hockenson is falling a bit on multiple sites. He's down 2 to 3 spots. Dalton Schultz is rising a bit, up a couple spots, and they're going at about similar ADPs. I get the excitement for Dalton Schultz. The opportunity is massive. We're talking about a starting wideout trio of CeeDee Lamb, Jalen Tolbert, and James Washington. Who knows when Michael Gallup will be back. I think Dak Prescott will still be effective. So I get it on Dalton Schultz. The ADP on Schultz, though, is around 65th overall. And I mean, I don't see a ton of upside. I don't think we ever get Kelsey, Kittle, Waller, Andrews type seasons out of Schultz, and that's tough. So I like Schultz. I slightly prefer Hockenson, but either way, I'm typically looking at other positions in this range of the draft. I mean, Dalton Schultz at 65th overall or Irv Smith at 122nd. Dalton Schultz at 65th overall or David Njoku at 167th. I mean, that's a no-brainer to me to go with the later round guy. Last faller to mention is Curtis Samuel. And people have just totally given up on this guy after the injury-riddled disaster last season and the Jahan Dotson pick. But we are just 1 year removed from Washington giving Samuel a 3-year, $34 million contract with $23 million guaranteed. Ron Rivera, of course, loves Samuel from their time together in Carolina. So Curtis Samuel's ADP is down another 5 spots to 190.5. I mean, that's free with upside in these deeper formats. And Curtis Samuel, I think, is still a talented dude. What I'm watching for this week in ADP and is this Leonard Fournette story. It's such an interesting story. I tweeted it Monday morning, would encourage everyone to read it. Basically, it said that Lenny Fournette didn't show up to OTAs, showed up to mandatory minicamp at 260 pounds, and the coaches are pissed. They're pissed they just gave him a 3-year guaranteed contract or a big 3-year contract, and now he shows up overweight. There's zero doubt in my mind that this is going to tank Leonard Fournette's ADP over the next 1, 2, 3 weeks, whatever, in a big way, because Lenny's 27 years old. He just got paid. They drafted a pass down specialist in Rashaad White. And we'll talk more about this soon, but there are definitely some cracks here in Leonard Fournette. I'm interested to see how far the ADP dips, though, and that's really what I'm watching this week. How low can you get Leonard Fournette this week? Because I'm still interested in buying, especially at this, Lenny is fat, he's never getting shape discount. I don't think that's true. I do think it's possible, though, that he does lose pass down work to Rashaad White if Rashaad White can earn Tom Brady's trust in camp. All right. I'll be back later this week with a solo pod. Looking forward to that. A Nick Underhill interview to talk some Saints stuff. So much going on with the Saints. And a Silva pod. So stay tuned for all that. And be sure you're subscribed on our YouTube. We're putting out a ton of content on there that's free and not on this pod feed. For Leone, for Jerry, I'm Adam. Good luck, everybody.